Well, a lot of things went through my mind, Bruce. One is 2 billion is a big number. And it's something certainly that, Keller Williams as a company is proud of. We're proud of being part of Keller Williams, of course. And I think sometimes is overlooked in the value of it being overlooked in this kind of industry and realm that we're in, especially in recent years with lots of different shiny opportunities out there. And not to take anything away from those opportunities, Bruce, that's not really my point in saying that. It's just that an opportunity like profit share that's been around for this length of time and has legitimately now given back $2 billion to the stakeholders in the company that helped build it is, not only unprecedented, it's still rare. And it's a good reminder to those of us that are participating in profit share, those maybe that have the opportunity to but aren't yet, and then maybe some of those that would want to in the future, that it's still a very legitimate opportunity from a dollar perspective to create legitimate wealth through passive income. And we throw billions around anymore as if it was like some small number, and it's not. 2 billion is a really big number. So it's something I personally feel a lot of pride around and certainly a level of gratitude to be part of.
And I think something else that's important to note, Chase, is that once you're vested with the company, you can designate a beneficiary to receive your profit share distributions when you die. So you can either leave it to your loved ones or leave it in a trust, and it will go on as long as that profit is being shared. So it truly is, when you think about our mission statement, right, of building careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving, this certainly fills the bucket of a legacy worth leaving.
It certainly does, Bruce. And there's some competitors out there that would like to use the language that, profit share is somehow outdated or dead or not valuable. And, when you get to 2 billion in money given back to your associates, then we should talk about how our profit sharing program is somehow not relevant anymore, because I think there's 2 billion reasons there to make it still very, very relevant to those receiving that passive income.
These companies now don't qualify to become a part of NAR's settlement and are going to have to negotiate their own deal.
Well, this is an interesting one, Bruce, because it's important to note that the numbers that T360 reports as part of their almanac here are self-reported numbers. So here you have a few brokerages who self-reported how much they sold in volume, and that put them over the $2 billion mark, which, impacted their coverage in the settlement. And now they're kind of backtracking, if you will, saying, whoa, hold on a second. Those weren't our actual numbers. There was some sort of mistake, etc., right? Some of them are saying different things. I think it's a fascinating decision on the front end to use this particular list as kind of the irrebuttable number, especially considering that they're not verified, they're self-reported. Mistakes, like honest mistakes, by the way, can actually happen. And then, oh, by the way, this isn't to call anyone out, but we have a group or an industry of folks that love to be recognized and love their awards. And maybe that goes for every industry to some degree, right? Self-reporting to get on these lists of how much has been sold. That sounds like it was maybe a disaster in the making, at least for those that are close now. And particularly because if they're over the $2 billion mark, the amount that it costs them to be covered by the settlement is no small number. No. Right? It's potentially millions of dollars. Funds are specified for rehab, right? Or fixing up or revitalizing some of these existing properties and potentially existing neighborhoods. It's important to note a couple things. One, I've pointed out several times that we can anticipate a lot of announcements coming out like this in the next however many days it is until the election, right? Just because that's the nature of our political cycle. And we tend to welcome any great news as it pertains to affordable housing, getting people in housing, keeping people in housing. Of course, there's so many good reasons for that. I want to point out, though, that this article does not specify exactly how these funds that are granted to the cities are actually distributed. My educated guess, Bruce, is that they're distributed to private investors in the form of tax credits, actual grants, etc. Although it's still a positive thing, understand that this money is going to go directly into the hands of those investors that sometimes we have a bad habit of villainizing, right? Because they're not going to go in there and revitalize distressed properties only for the reason of the goodness of their heart and the people that are going to live in those properties. That still can be a reason, by the way, but make no mistake about it. They're going to take advantage of these grants to do that and turn some sort of profit, shelter some sort of tax money, etc. And we've also talked about that here on the program before, that tax incentives, as one example, grants, here's another, are legitimate ways that the government incentivizes the private citizen to go and do what they can't do very efficiently.
That really taxation is how the government encourages its people to behave, right? In the areas, the things they want you to do, they give you tax credits. The things they don't want you to do, they tax the heck out of you.